Hey everybody, it's Alexis with Create Your Future. I am back with a brand new video. Happy Monday. And today I am doing round 2 of questions and answers about how to manifest your reality, how to create what you want, and general tips. Okay. So before I get started, thank you for liking, commenting, sharing, and subscribing. All the information for booking one-on-one coaching, hypnosis, audios, recordings, and my courses are in the box below. And let's get started. Okay. So some really good questions, general manifestation questions have been coming in. If you have a general manifestation question, please put it in the comment section of this video. Also, please do not put it in other videos or like past videos. If you have also put a general manifestation question in a previous video that wasn't a Q&A video, then can you please put the same question in the box below? The same thing as you guys, I've been saying in every video about these videos, I cannot answer your specific situation manifestation questions, such as if you write in a comment, okay, it's okay, you can write them, but I just can't answer it in a video like this. If you write a comment like, Alexis, I've watched your videos, thank you so much. What do I do about my SP? Or what do I affirm to get this? What do I think to think this? Okay, those are questions for coaching. I don't answer them in this kind of video because they take too long. And these are general manifestation questions that you can put in here about anything relating generally to consciously creating your reality, and general questions that you come up with, like all of my clients do on their route to manifesting. And this video is also intended to be something that you can reference when you're questioning and doubting your own manifestation, when you're questioning and doubting your own power, when you are questioning and doubting if you can manifest exactly what you want. Because I've noticed that in the last video, a lot of my answers end up being about the topics that I love talking about: self-empowerment, creating your reality on purpose, being the star of your energetic movie, being the star of your sphere of energy. What does that mean? How do we do that without being egoic about it also? Okay, so anyways, keep the questions coming. Just make them general. You are welcome to write comments like I've been getting about your specific situation, but I never answer those in comments, and I do not answer those in videos because that's what coaching is for. Okay, so now the first video comment that I got that I really love is from Silly Girl 3452001. What is the best way to navigate through the 3D when certain things have not changed 100%? How do you continue with the new story? Great video. Thank you so much. Okay, so this is a great question that applies to anything and everything that you're ever going to manifest. Essentially, how do I keep my attention focused on me when I'm triggered, when something unwanted happens, when something I don't like? How do I stay on the new story? Well, my answer is multifold. Okay, first of all, if you're consciously creating and consciously manifesting for something to change, you kind of want to understand that the process of how your reality, which is energetic in nature, it's molecular energy that is movable and changeable, and you're influencing it with your thoughts. For a lot of things and most things, as you affirm for something to be different, the opposite will still show up or it will come back. Now, I'm not saying that as a thought to have like, oh, so while I'm manifesting, the opposite's going to happen, so I'm just going to think that's going to happen. No, it's just kind of how things I've seen with all the people I've ever coached and myself is that as you focus on something new and different, either it begins to happen and you stay with it, or the opposite shows up, or you get movement and then the opposite shows up, right? So I've often said that conscious manifesting your reality in general with using your conscious thoughts is practice that should come with like a caution tape or a warning label, because it can be challenging. It can be difficult to know how to stay on track unless you know this stuff, right? So remember, you're learning how to hack your reality. We're learning how to create exactly what we want in this lifetime and embracing your power, embracing your birthright of being the creator of your experience. So you got to get better and better at it and more focused when the opposite is showing up. So to go back to her question, how do you navigate through the 3D? There is nothing to navigate. Sarah, right? Silly Girl, not Sarah. Is your real name Sarah? Silly Girl. Does anyone call you Sarah? Okay. There's nothing to navigate through. It's navigating through your own mind. So what we often happens is that we're creating, like if it's SP, we're creating for them to change. We're thinking new thoughts. We're changing the version, right? We're affirming of them differently within, so they show up differently without out there. And then something happens that tries to, this is the funny thing, it tries to get you to think like, oh, how do I manage this? How do I navigate through it? What do I say, right? What do I do? Now, that isn't necessarily manipulation to have to go about it that way, because some scenarios and some situations, we do want to develop the best way to respond, the best way to be the higher self, the version of you that would respond in the best way possible to keep yourself on track. Okay. But the thing is, you don't have to get caught up in how to manage it. You have to get refocused and more caught up in what you're thinking and more determined and more focused. Go within, affirm for what you want, quietly engineering the situation and the feeling of what you want inside, and then allowing for the outside to dissolve. Now, I hear the question though, like, how do I communicate with them? How do I respond to them? Like if it's a person, what do I say to them when they're saying the things I don't want? Well, it really is different for each person, but I will say as an overarching theme, you want to respond in a way out there and with them that still keeps you on track. And you guys, you don't have to navigate through or have an answer or always know exactly what to say in every situation. If you're being faced with circumstances that aren't of what you want, you can always be responding and saying, oh, I need to think about that and I'm going to get back to you. Or, oh, wow, that was unexpected. I'm just going to go do this right now. Really trying to remove yourself from the scenario so that you can focus. What I do have a lot of clients do is when they're with the SP, something happens that they don't like. They know that they're triggered. We know this is the opposite of what we're wanting. We know this is the opposite of what you want to create. You can sort of be in the situation without reacting to it internally. And this does not mean that I'm saying not reacting physically or to the person. What I see that a lot of people do is they've learned like, oh, I'm not going to react. I'm not going to say anything. I'm not going to do anything wrong that will F up my manifestation. But they're not reacting with the person, but they're reacting in here. What really matters is how you're reacting with your thoughts, how you think about it, and the thoughts that you apply to it with your thinking, not actually how you're reacting, right? So that's the funny thing about the not reacting jargon that I don't agree with. The thing that most of us have always done is react and then react. Very rarely have most people developed the habit to react and still think about like, oh, like I'm getting what I want. Okay. That's just a skill that you want to try to develop. But in any event, what I do recommend to a lot of people is to take a break. Oh, I have to go to the bathroom. Find a way to excuse yourself from the environment in the physical reality. Get back on track, back in charge of your mind. This is my reality. I am creating exactly what you want. I am enough for what I want, and yada, 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 yada about whatever it is in your particular story that you're changing. Okay, so how do you continue with your new story? You guys, it is this simple. You just do. It is just saying and deciding, oh, you have no hold over the new story that I'm creating. So I'm refocusing, I'm recalibrating, I'm staying the course, and other things that I have found helpful with myself and all the people that I work with over the years is having a lot of things that you do for you in your reality. So much of your conscious manifesting is gearing your mind and gearing your brain to be thinking, I am the center of my reality, meaning that my mind is the creator of my experience. So what I think about is the most important. Therefore, I am the most important. Okay. But having like a lot of things that you do, if your hobby has become conscious manifesting and your hobby is manifesting your person, guys, I don't like that. I want you to have an enriched life, hobbies that you do for you that are particular to you. I'm not saying to go out, go to the gym, get in a people like a meetup group, right? These were all things that I at one point tried to do, and they never fit with me, right? What do we hear out there? Join a meetup group, meet new friends, like go to a mixer, get online. If you're like, single but manifesting someone, people say like, get on the dating apps, et cetera, put yourself out there. Okay. If that doesn't work for you, I'm not saying that you should do those things, but you do want to ask yourself, what do I need right now at the present time in my life? What am I really craving besides a person and besides connection, besides someone to do life with, besides marriage and besides kids? Okay. To manifest those things, marriage, kids, or relationship, pregnancy, all of it, you have no idea how much of it comes from the concept of self and how in love with yourself you are, how in love with life you are, how you think you're thriving, getting out there, doing things that really fit you. So an easy way to go about this is also to begin asking yourself throughout the day, hey, what do I need right now? Like, what do I actually need? What are my needs? And listening to what your voice within actually says, not the voice of society that's like, oh, I need to be married. I need a relationship. I need this career change. I need this money. The thing is this, all of those things are add-ons to who you are. Start to really use your mind for better self-adherence to self-care within. You'd be surprised at how fulfilling that can create the state of fulfillment that you would have if you were with your person, and then so many things unfold. Okay, so, well, that question began a whole other question. I'm moving on to the next one. Okay. Just takes me a second, you guys, to find the actual ones that I'm choosing. Okay, so this is from ALJ2MZ. Hi, Alexis, can you give advice on how to troubleshoot if we've been manifesting for many months or years and I have seen no movement and feel like nothing has worked? I've watched your other videos on this before and have tried my best to look at underlying beliefs and self-concept about relationships. I've tried my best to follow your advice, change self-concept, have affirmations of being secure in myself, and just haven't seen anything. I understand that sometimes we don't see things, but this really seems to be that like something is not working. What do you do when nothing has worked? Am I a lost cause? I feel like I could spend the rest of my life affirming and continuing to go on this path. And it will be 100 years, and I will be 100 years old and still have seen nothing in the 3D. So this is interesting because this is like a question I hear from a lot of people like, okay, but like, how long am I going to have to do this for? Like, am I going to be affirming for them to change? And then it's going to be like 5 years down the line, I'm still going to be affirming the same thing. And the thing is, no. Let's create that you want to be thinking, if you're seeing not a lot of movement and if you're seeing not a lot of change, I want you to begin focusing not on the affirmations of the person and not even on the affirmations of your self-concept, but affirmations and decisions and the choice and the thought that you create your reality, because that might be the missing component. When we think that we're waiting for time, that means that something needs to happen out there. It's an intricate detail I'm trying to explain, but the answer I think here is to affirm and to focus on, I am the creator of my reality. I am the one who is creating this. This comes down to what I'm thinking moment to moment. I am seeing movement. I am seeing change. My manifestation now is happening quickly. It's happening quickly. It's happening quickly. It's happening quickly. I'm seeing it happen once and for all this time. I'm seeing it come through once and for all this time. I'm seeing it happen this time. So I would say that that's where you do, and if you're new to conscious manifesting, you could write down those affirmations. That's first how you want to be infiltrating your subconscious mind and your mind, even before you start imprinting the new story about your person and about you. Because the reason why the changing of the story, the changing of your thoughts changes your reality is because you are the creator of your reality. Now, just thinking and understanding, and therefore you begin assuming, oh, I am the creator of my existence. I am the creator of my reality. That's usually the missing component for anyone and everyone that thinks it is going to take a long time. I'm not seeing a lot of movement. You want to change the story on movement itself, right? Because the thing is, to see quick movement, we have to think we have quick movement, and to see change, we have to think we're seeing change. So I would say those areas are actually where the negative assumption is. It's not actually about the person. It's about your ability to see change, being good at things, making things happen, seeing them happen quickly. And that seeing that the relationship can happen quickly. Okay. So that's my answer is, if you're not seeing movement, affirm for movement. If you're thinking it's going to take a long time, tell yourself on repeat, like I said, say those affirmations to yourself 3 times in a row, that that this is happening now, this is happening quickly, it is finally coming through. That's something that you want to have embedded, and it will get easier. It will become a caveat to all the things that you're manifesting. Okay. So this is from, now I have not answered this question before. Okay. So Vicky V2171. Hey, Alexis, I am a little bit confused how to live in my mind and handle the 3D at the same time. You say not to ignore the problems and handle them, but if you put focus on them, aren't they going to recreate or even get worse? Okay. So I think I answered this question with the first question, but you just want to be able to navigate. And that's what I'm talking about you don't have to ignore things. You want to be able to navigate and move through whatever circumstance, whatever situation you are in your 3D that is unwanted as easily as possible. Now, when I'm saying in videos, handle them, it's to think about the thoughts that you're thinking about the circumstance differently. That is my version, my way of saying handling them. Because if you think that you have to, and now again, the thing about this question, Vicky, is that it really is particular to each person I work with and each scenario. That's why I am a big disbeliever. You guys know this in my videos. I'm a big disbeliever in a lot of the general manifestation tips that people are putting out in the world. They're generally huge generalizations. And what we know about the mind is that generalizations don't work for the human population. There isn't one way to handle everything. It's like I used to be a fitness and nutrition consultant when I was in that field for 10 years and owned a business. And we all know there is not one diet for humanity. There is not one exercise for humanity. The mind is the same. There is not one answer to everything. So I'm just wondering, now, not to put it in a question because I can't answer it like I've said, but what are the problems? You know, what are the scenarios? If the problems are like safety and security, or you feel threatened, the best thing to do in that situation is to get time to yourself and move away from the scenario, the person, or the situation. Okay. But my idea about you don't have to ignore the problems is that you want to realize I created these problems. So if I'm ignoring the problems, it's like saying they weren't created by me. They were created by them. They did this somehow. I'm just going to ignore the whole thing. Like I'm not going to react to it. And I'm just going to act like if I ignore it, goes away. Why do that, you guys? You're the creator of your reality. Your old assumptions, old beliefs, your self-concept, or you somehow, some way created and manifested them. So you want to, instead of ignoring them, take ownership of them is also my thinking. Taking ownership with self-forgiveness and self-acceptance and saying, oh, so somehow, some way, these were created in my human experience by me. Now, a lot of my beliefs, like this is the self-talk about this, a lot of my beliefs are changing. My assumptions are changing. So I'm really going to understand that as I change, I'm getting less and less focused and attached to these things that are happening outside of me. But you guys, no one created them besides you. They aren't a work of the universe or your person against you or anything. They were somehow projected and pushed out and created from your mind. Okay, now the question always, that's like the pendulum swing of that statement is, oh, like, so do I create starvation in Africa? Do I create death and dying? Did I create for my grandmother to get an illness and pass away? Did I create for this, like catastrophizing things? Okay. My answer is I am not the creator of our reality system. Okay. I am not God, but those things are part and parcel to the human reality that you have been born into. They're part of being in the human body. We move on from this body to the next body or the place that we go, wherever that is and whatever that is. You are here, and that's part of the human game. Okay, so let's just not take it so far into depressive thinking and apathetic thinking. I want you to focus on people, circumstances, relationships. That's what we're talking about. Okay, so you want to be really owning it. Why ignore it if it was projected by you? And you can learn a lot about yourself and what's going on with you if you see it that way, and not taking it personally, meaning being judgmental in your self-focus and your look at it and you. You can be like, oh, so somehow, some way, I created this and this manifested here. So like, what's this really about me? What do I think about me and think about them that created this? Because that's what's happening. You think a certain way about you, which perpetuates a certain thing, thinking about them and the whole thing, and then it happens. So that's the thing, is if you're ignoring everything all the time, I don't really know if you're progressing and evolving and changing, because that's also something that we want to do here, is evolve and change and grow and move forwards and be expanding and learning and creating a life where we're thriving, enjoying relationships, enjoying our circumstances, right? So that's the idea, is about how to navigate through it, is taking ownership of it. So by taking ownership of it, you're not putting focus on them. You're actually doing the opposite and changing it. Remember, you're only putting focus on it if you perpetuate the same thoughts that create it, right? Such as they are this, they are that, I am this, I am that. Okay. Okay, so this is my last question that I have time to answer. Colors and brushes. Thank you, cute name. What do you do with colors and brushes? Are you a makeup artist? Are you a painter? I would love to know. Okay, does it put our progress backwards if we do it daily but fail to do it once or twice all day long because we have been busy with other things? No. So you want to be, she's asking about the affirmations, changing her thoughts, focusing on what she wants in the imagination. If we get busy doing other things, does that set us back? Now, first of all, you want to think right away that it does not, that you are putting enough time into what you're creating. You're putting enough time into conscious manifesting, that you are putting enough time and enough focus onto what you truly want, right? So that's the answer. But you do want to set enough time aside throughout the week, throughout the day. I've given people certain routines, depending on who they are and what their lifestyle is like, about how to focus, when to focus. The thing that I have at this point in my evolvement and evolution as a coach, the thing that I do not recommend is this. Oh, whenever I think about them, I think about them this way. Or like whenever I think about it, I turn the thoughts around, or I just flip my thoughts all day. That isn't sustainable. And that isn't even a focus practice. You need and you want to set aside time so you know when you're focusing. Like I, Alexis, have time that I know in my mind is when I set aside for my focusing on what am I intending, what am I focusing on, what am I affirming for. So if there's any moment that I go to, oh, it's been a little while, I haven't done this enough, right? I haven't focused enough. It's like, oh no, I'll be focusing at this time. So whatever plan you have for your focus, your intentions, your affirmations, your manifesting, you want to tell yourself that it creates enough time, that it is enough time, that you do have enough time to focus, but you also want to carve it out, is the caveat. So like 3 times a day for 10 minutes, or once a day for a longer amount of time, or more sporadic spurts throughout the day for a period of time. And it's not saying that you have to necessarily hit a timer. I have a lot of clients that do that. You might want to play around with that at first to create a routine, but remember that we are creating a new habit. Like it's like working out and training your muscle. You are creating a new habit, which is I am the creator of my reality. If I'm the creator of my reality, then you'll be gosh darn sure that I am going to make time to focus on what am I really creating for all levels of my spiritual, physical, personal life, right? So tell yourself that you are spending enough time, that you do have enough focus, and then make sure that you have carved out the times to focus. That's it, you guys. This is simple, fun stuff. I usually have simple, fun answers. And that's my intention as a coach, to make it simplified, logical, workable, have a plan, and that we are creating, that we're getting, and we're making the assumption that we're getting the desire. Okay. So those are all of the questions that I have time for to answer today. We are in the middle of a heat wave out here in Los Angeles, and I just so happen to create time and manifest time to do this right before it gets too hot out here in my office. Okay. So this video is also intended to, if you question, doubt, and wonder about your manifestation, to come back to listen as motivation that you can have and create, be, do, and have anything that you desire. It's all just based upon your focus and your decision and adherence to the desire, manifesting it, the components of it with your given scenario in your mind. Okay. So that's it, you guys. Have a great day. Enjoy yourself. Enjoy wherever you are in the world, wherever the weather is, where you are. I love you all, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.